right, hello, welcome to this video on. Want to look at the impact of the new ICAN syllabus on the professional courses in ICAN exams. My name is Ajayi Adidamola, and I'm the principal consultant in HFR Consulting. All right, beautiful. So, why do we have to do this now? ICAN is changing their syllabus, and the new syllabus is supposed to be effective, or is going to be effective from November 2025. So that means from this diet, once the results are out very soon, from this the next diet, which is November, is going to be we are going to be operating the new syllabus. Why it's very important is because every time, at least I've been lecturing for almost maybe around 8 to 10 years now, every time we have a syllabus change, what happens is that there are a lot of changes and a lot of disruptions. One, some courses, the content have changed. There are sometimes that there are some areas that are testable and not testable again. Secondly, they have removed some courses, added some courses. And so there are a lot of uncertainties, there are a lot of transition issues. And so that's why you have to understand, one, first and foremost, before you start really preparing and studying, what are the impacts, especially for those that have been coming from the old diet, have been writing ICAN before, like you were in skills or you're in foundation, you have moved to skills, or you have a reference paper to write. Please, it is not business as what? As usual. Things have changed. And so that's why I have to look at the impact of the change. How is it going to affect you? What are the areas that have been removed? What are the areas that have been added? How do you navigate the change in the syllabus? So that's why I've come up with this, so that can help you and guide you when you are preparing, so you know which areas. Then most importantly, please, I can most times they like testing a lot of new areas that have been brought in the syllabus, especially for the first 2, 3, 4 diets. Those are the areas they will put more emphasis on, because it's not business as usual. Things have changed. So they want to test those new areas. That's why I have to also put attention or focus on those new areas to as much as possible. So let's get down to it. So let me present this. Okay, beautiful. All right, so let's go. Now, let's get some general changes in the syllabus. One, there's now more emphasis on soft skills and the impact of technology. Whether we like it or not, IT is playing a very large role in what? In finance and accounting today. A very large role. A very, very large role. In fact, it's having a very big disruption in the what? In the finance or accounting field. Because you have a lot of AI, blockchain. So you will see that throughout the syllabus, when we start looking at it, they have included more of what? More of IT, and then what? Soft skills. Because they are seeing that this is important. Gone are the days where it's more of manual, is more of just book. Now we have a lot of automations, we have AI, we have so many things. So those have actually been incorporated, because ICANN is also trying to also be in line with the what? With the current development. So then, please, current standard laws and regulations have now been incorporated. Last time, I think it was in 2019 or 2021, they changed syllabus last. Now, most of the laws has changed. Some standards have changed, they have been replaced. So that's been captured into the new syllabus. So you will see that in the new syllabus, some standards that you have before, they are no longer relevant. You have some new standards, or laws too, for courses that involve laws, that have to quote laws. There are some laws that have changed, so you have to become familiar with the new laws. Okay, then you really need to pay attention to those new areas. As like I said, examiners will pay attention and test those areas, those areas more in the coming exams, at least for the first 2, 3, 4 diets. Okay, now let's now look at the detailed changes. Now please, this is for foundation courses. There's another tutorial video for what? For skill courses and what? Professional courses too. Okay, so let's get detailed changes now. We still have the same 4 courses in foundation, but some with new names and a lot of what? A lot of changes. Please, it's not the business as usual. There are changes now. So let's look at the new courses now. So we have what? Management accounting. Now, this course previously was called what? MI, Management Information, but now the name is what? MA, Management Accounting. You have corporate and business law. It was called business law before. Now we are calling it what? Corporate and business law. You have business environment. Okay, so that has also changed. So now, before, you have business BMF, business management and finance, or something like that. It's now called what? Business environment. The one that the name has not changed is what? Financial accounting. But even financial accounting, I'm telling you that there are a lot of changes. We'll still look at them now, so that you can understand that it's not business as usual. Is a bit tougher and more voluminous now. So let's look at the detailed changes in each course. So let's start from financial accounting. Financial accounting. Okay. Now, so for financial accounting, The course is now more voluminous. Please note they have added more areas. In fact, they have brought in some standards that were not there before. So you have to do more now because you have to know more to be able to scale through. Okay, so the course is now more voluminous and more standards have been brought in. So let's look at them. One, they have brought in what? FRCN. Before, when you check the old syllabus, you don't have so much about the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria, but now it's in more details. They want you to know more about FRCN, their functions, their duties, and all those other things. Then they brought in a bit of corporate governance, so you have to learn responsibility of those charged with governance. What's the responsibility of the board of directors? What's the responsibility of the auditors and all those other things? So that has been incorporated. Then they have brought in your debit and credit card. Was not really prominent in the old syllabus, but is now prominent here because they want you to understand how, of course, like I said, IT technology, how does a debit and credit card work? They have incorporated into the syllabus now. Then please, they have brought in VAT principles and computation with accounting for VAT. It was not in FA before, but now it has been brought in. So you have to now do your work. So you have to learn how to do VAT, even in foundation. So you have to learn VAT. How does VAT work and how do we account for VAT in our books? Okay. Then PPE. PPE is dead for year 16 was dead before in foundation, but now you now have what? You now have additional areas brought into your PPE. Like for example, you have to be able to differentiate between capital and revenue expenditure. Then they are now talking of asset code. How do you codify assets? What's the whole essence of codifying assets? You have your asset registers. What's an asset register? How does it work? Then you also have depreciation on revalued assets. Most times, I think, and those syllabus is more of depreciation on your cost assets at cost, but now you are having depreciation on how do you account for depreciation on revalued assets? Okay, let's look at it. Then please, IS 38 intangible asset. This was strictly in financial reporting before, but now it has been brought into what? It has been brought into foundation. So you are going to learn IS 38. It's now compulsory. It's now part of your what? Syllabus. Like I said, these are standards they have brought in. They have brought IS 36 too. So that means it's tougher now because you have a lot of standards now. So IS 36, impairment of assets. How do you calculate impairment, value in use, all those things? They have been brought into financial accounting now. Then IS 37 on provision too. That's another change that we have. Okay, IS 12 on what? Income tax. So income tax is now your income and deferred tax is now part of what? Your foundation in financial accounting. So you now have more standards. So you can see that FA is now more because these four standards alone, they are not beans. They are really, there's a lot in them. And so you have to learn them too. Okay. Then accounting for issue of shares and borrowings and accounting for dividends. So accounting for the capital structure, your retained earnings, your dividend. If you issue shares, if you do bonus shares, that has been incorporated. So like I told you, you can see there is more. In fact, you now have ratio analysis. I don't know why FA is now. FA is now looking very similar to FR. Do you understand? Like it's more advanced compared to the basic FA that we had in the old syllabus. So you now have to do ratio analysis in your what? In your financial accounting in foundation. Then computerized accounting system. Like I told you, all these IT accounting software is now brought in more details. Data structure, data analytics, AI, blockchain, all these new things when it comes to IT is now brought into the syllabus. Because you can see that FA is more robust. So if previously FA study pack was maybe 300 pages, now it's going to be around 500 or 600 pages. I can give you my word because it's now going to be more voluminous. More areas have been what? Added. It's now more robust compared to before. Okay, now let's look at management accounting, MA, management accounting. Okay, so the course replaces management information. Okay, more emphasis is now on accounting and not information system. Before, MI was basically a combination of a bit of costing and then more of what? Costing and then information system. So information system took about, if I can give a rough, maybe 30% of the syllabus. All these your information decision support system, all those long story and theoretical part. But please, now the IS has been removed basically. So it's strictly more of what? Management accounting or cost accounting now. So they have reduced it to what? To management. And so they have made it a core accounting course, not a combination of accounting and IT. Okay. Now let's start from areas that have been, some areas have been added, some areas have been removed. Okay, so one, you have spreadsheets now. Spreadsheets are now part of your what? Your syllabus. You have to learn what spreadsheets are, how does spreadsheet function, how do you use spreadsheet, application of spreadsheets, and all those spreadsheets are like Excel, Google Sheet, and all those other sheets. Okay, next, cost control and cost reduction is now what? Is now included. So how do you do cost control? How do you reduce your cost? That's been added to the syllabus. Then previously, of course, you had standard costing in your MI, but now they want you to interpret variances. Before, for MI, it was more of just calculate variance. But now, you are not just going to calculate variance. You have to learn how to interpret variance and then reconcile variance. So this is very similar to what you have in your performance management in skills, because it's now more advanced. Do you understand? So in management account, you are still going to learn how to interpret variance and how to also reconcile variance. Okay. Then of course some areas have been removed, like I said. So the information system part, all this e-business, e-commerce, computer hardware and software, business process technologies, cloud computing, all these have been what? They have been what? They have been removed from the word from the syllabus. Okay, so that's for MA. Let's look at the next course, business environment. Okay, this course replaces business management and finance, which you call BMF before. So it's now called business environment. Okay, more emphasis is now on areas that have been had. Let's look at more areas that have been added. One, so you now have what you call organizational chart. What is an organizational chart? That's more in the syllabus now. Then board committees have been incorporated. What are board committees? What are different committees we have? What are their functions? Okay. Then legal and regulatory framework for business. So what are the laws and regulations that affect business in more details? Your CAMA, your all those other laws, you look at them in details. Then of course they have brought in SWOT and PESTEL, how to do your business environmental analysis using SWOT and PESTEL. Okay, so that has been brought from CSME. So a part of CSME has been brought here. Then CSR, corporate social responsibility, and then sustainability reporting. Okay, please, sustainability is now a very core part of the syllabus. So, especially for, in fact, it's not so common in foundation, but when we get to professional and skills, you will do a lot of sustainability, uh, uh, things that have to do with sustainability. Then, role of finance officers is now more prominent in your business environment. So, your treasurer, your finance manager, your cost accountant, what are their different roles and functions, and what do they do? Then internal audit and checks has also been brought into business environment. So you can see that it's more voluminous or more detailed compared to before. Okay, then let's look at okay, we still have more areas. Then we have ethics and code of corporate governance. That's CSME. So you can see that a bit of CSME has been brought back to foundation. So you have ethics and code of corporate governance. Then very importantly, they have brought in micro and macro economy. Okay, so looking at national income accounting, international trade, international bodies, all those things has been brought into. Then, like I told you, technology and data analytics has been brought in. So you have spreadsheets, big data, AI, cyber security, cloud computing. All these have been brought into the what? Into the syllabus. But they have also removed some area from business environment. So it's a balance. So that as you're having areas added, some have been also removed. So you have cash budget. Cash budget is out. Investment decision and investment appraisal is also out. So they have moved that to financial management in what? In the skill stage of the exam. So that's for business environment. Then lastly, business law for foundation. Okay. Now, not so much has changed except a few areas that have been added or updated with new laws when it comes to our business law. Okay, so business law, of course, it has to do with law. So only laws that have changed. So, for example, Nigeria Cyber Act is no longer, so the 2015 has now been replaced by what? 2024. So you have to be familiar with the changes. So look at the act now in 2024. So what are the changes compared to the Nigerian Data Protection Regulation is now 2025, not 2019. Then the Business Facilitation Act in 2023 that was just passed. So those are some of the new laws that have been brought in. But most actually business law is the area that does not have so much impact. So it's still almost the same except for some of these few laws that have been incorporated. All right, great. So now those are some of the changes. So how do you navigate the change? One, start preparation early if you are going to write this diet. Is things have changed. Most times that I have a change in syllabus, there is always a bit of transitional issue, but from both lecture centers, from both students, and even ICAN examiners themselves, they also everybody is coming into the new system. So there are a lot of transitional issues. How do you navigate? One, like I said, start preparing early. Get a very good tutorial center. Some tutorial centers are not the best because some of those lecturers are not staying updated. So that means they are still using those old materials and old things. Some are not even aware. I'm telling you the truth. I will say the truth. I'm telling you that some are not even paying attention to the changes syllabus. They believe it's business as usual. So they have not updated their materials. They have not gotten new material. They have not learnt this new area. So get a good tutorial center. Then try and source materials too. The issue with the change in new syllabus is that hopefully this time it will be better. The last time syllabus was changed, study pack came out a bit late after some months that syllabus has been changed. If not, I can't even remember even if it's not after a diet or two. that now came up with the study pack. And so a lot of people were confused. Where do we get materials? What's the ICAN authoritative statement about these issues? Do you understand? So that's one of the challenges. So you try and source materials too. So then lastly, I also offer online one-on-one lectures where I'm very personal with you if you are interested. Okay, so I actually incorporated or done these changes into my own tutorial. So if you are interested, you can reach out to me. You can reach out to me on WhatsApp on 0916 299 2203. So 0916 299 2203. Then you can also check the link in the my YouTube page or YouTube channel to be able to reach out to me on WhatsApp, so you can find out or make inquiries if you are really intentional and very deliberate about passing this coming diet. Great, thank you.